What's up everybody, I'm Optic Snacks and together we are going to create something truly epic. Hold on, not yet. Before we continue with this video, I wanted to take a moment and thank you all for being subscribed for so long, even when I was not here. Thank you. This is for you. Okay, now we can continue. And in order to create something truly epic, I thought let's do a dragon. You saw nothing. As usual, I started with a sketch, and this is the sketch I made. Quick question for the comments. Why is it that we all enjoy when a weak human defeats a supervillain? Don't we all know that it would end somehow like this? Now, jokes aside, I usually put a bit more effort into the phase of sketching in order to get myself inspired to get into this state of I can't wait to start creating. But then it gets a bit more boring because I have to proceed with finding the right assets for the image that I want to create, and that's not pleasant at all. But lucky for me, I have got a Vado Element subscription. I have to pay for it though. And I gathered these assets for the image. Now, before I forget it, I wanted to show you a sign I found recently. It says, warning, channel may cause subscribe at your own it says subscribe. Anyway, now we are going to look into the 5 steps I took in order to create the dragon picture. So the first step is to place my assets. The second step is to add shadows and light. The third step is to color. The fourth step is to create the epic dragon, and the last step is to add some good looking details. Now let's jump into the creation process. This image is a perfect example of horror vacui. Horror vacui is the fear of leaving in an image blank space. So let's quickly get rid of this image and start placing our assets. Obviously, I adjusted every asset I put down here. For example, the taxi, it had to be adjusted, and then I went to the Amazon jungle only for you guys to get some trees, some good looking green trees. And on my way there, I found this Asian girl that told me that she wants to fight a dragon. So whatever happens, it's not on me. Then I found some buildings that I had to adjust the perspective. I should have built a perspective grid though, add some vanishing points, but I was lazy. I hope you are not when you're creating. You're probably a better artist than me. I found this school bus and I figured out it would be better to break up this middle perspective I had created. And I was very thankful for this asset as it was a game changer for this picture. Now we are getting to the dark side of the Force. Here we are going now into the dark shadows of the image. And as an example, I picked out this beautiful hospital building, and as I'm dealing with architecture, I used the polygon lasso tool in order to have sharp edges and maintain them, and not to paint with a brush as I usually do. As a second example, I chose this typical American school bus. And at least for me, it is typical American because I know it only from Hollywood movies. And I believe in Europe we have different type of buses driving around. But correct me if I'm wrong. Now, here you can see how I usually put shadows onto assets by using the round, simple brush. Alright, so now it's time for color. And remember, color has the biggest impact on your images, probably the biggest. And we are going to have a look now how color will affect this image. As you see, I'm not afraid of using bold brush strokes and going in with a rough texture brush and erasing out parts, adding over it new parts, as all of this adds texture to the post-apocalyptic worlds we are used to see and like seeing. Now I got rid of this happy little sky and added this dark cloud, and this dark cloud has a big impact on the overall image, as it provides me with a bluish color that I needed somehow to get this image to the next level. As I'm aiming for an overall dark look, I'm trying to avoid the too saturated colors or the too happy bright colors. Now, as you're seeing, I'm adding here this bluish color from the sky onto the buildings, and it's really having a big impact on the overall image. And as a last step, I'm adding here now the fog. The fog is important to unify the different assets, and it obviously has a great feeling too. So as you probably already saw, the next step is to create the dragon. But before we get into that, I wanted to provide you the chance to choose what you want to see in the future. So now you got the chance to choose. Type T to see a Ninja Turtles fan art, or H to see me redesign a game board of Hearthstone. Choose wisely. And now it's time to look into the creation process of the dragon. Now, you may wonder, why am I wearing these gloves and looking ridiculous? But I felt like it because I felt like Dr. Victor Frankenstein creating his own monster. I had to create this one, and I had to chop up a bunch of innocent lizards for it. Alright, so now we are going to proceed with the neck, and here I used the puppet wrap tool to create the strong neck of the dragon. But then suddenly I got reminded of something, that the neck looks a little bit like a corn cob. So I could not unsee it once I saw it. It's a thing that I have, but I believe all artists have, right? And I used different texture for the neck. So here I was also a dentist creating these horns, and it worked really well to do that. So I used up all the textures I could get from different lizards in order to make it really a rich textured dragon. Now that I was done with the overall shape and I was happy with the shape, I went and created here this immense breath and the eyes of the dragon. And as soon as I had established this grayish color here, I knew exactly that's the dragon I want to paint. It's going in the direction I need for this image. And it's very important, as the dragon is the main character of this image. Let's look at the damage counter. 26 lizards died, 5 prehistoric raptors lost their teeth, 3 corn cobs were turned into popcorn, and 1 Olympic fire got extinguished. Now, because of this scenario, I'm allowed to think out of the box. I have to think, how would everyday items look if nature would reconquer our world? Alright, so now we arrived at the final step, which is to add highlights. It is my favorite part of painting, of creating in general, as it makes the image pop out. It makes certain areas be noticed even more, and I enjoy it so much as I restrict myself the whole time I want to do it. I cannot wait to start painting these, as for me they make a photo manipulation especially pop out, come together, be not a simple photo manipulation, but create the illusion of being an illustration of. It's just the moment where you add the value to the image. That's how I feel. So I cannot wait doing these. And I'm going to leave you to enjoy the last few strokes of this creation process, and I'll see you in a second in the studio. So actually now we arrived at the end of this image process. The image is done, and I would have loved to show you even more, but the truth is it took me 9 hours, about 9 hours to finish the whole thing, and it would have been too much to fit into a video that would be appealing to you. So I don't want to bore you, and I want to show you the final image, and see you soon in the next video. Take care.